the many events impacted due to the pandemic, add driver's education to the list. In-person training had to move to virtual learning early on. A Plymouth driver's education school says now that some education can be done in person, there's still a demand for keeping the classes virtual. Each class is 3 hours long and students are required to complete 30 hours of driver's ed. But those virtual classes are not without pitfalls. As one teacher explained, in-person classes are more interactive.
When they come in-person classes, we have driver's ed Jeopardy, we have flashcard games. And I let them take over the games.
The good news is that Seaman expects to be busy during the summer months when students are typically out of school and they have more time to take driver's education classes. If you've needed to renew your driver's license but you've had trouble getting an appointment, you're not alone. There's a backlog of people needing to renew their license. So some offices will now be open on Saturday, at least temporarily. 15 exam stations will be open across the state, and that includes the Plymouth Driver and Vehicle Services location. It will be open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. It will handle driver's license renewals only at that day at that location. The Saturday hours are currently slated to run through March 27th. Renewal extensions for expiring licenses were granted due to the pandemic, but that extension ends March 31st. Minnesotans also face another important deadline coming up. Beginning October 1st, Minnesotans cannot use their standard driver's license to board domestic flights, but instead they will need a security-enhanced Real ID. Online food ordering and pickup spiked during the pandemic, and it could be here to stay, or at least Hy-Vee is banking on that. They want to build a 1,200 square foot drive-through kiosk just west of the grocery store on Xylon Avenue North in New Hope. Customers would purchase groceries online and drive to one of 4 drive-through service lanes. The hope is this kiosk could also reduce congestion on the west entrance of the store. A public hearing on this project is planned in this week's New Hope Planning Commission meeting. Cities and commissions work diligently to keep soil from washing downstream from creek banks in the suburbs. Engineers in Brooklyn Park are eyeing 2 projects this year. The projects will mitigate erosion along portions of Bass Creek and Shingle Creek in Brooklyn Park. Crews will plant grasses and plants. Another technique will utilize root wads. This is a process of pulling up whole trees and placing their root structures in the creek along the banks to change water flow patterns. Engineers say these efforts will help keep dirt from washing downstream.
Between these 2 stretches that we're doing here, we're losing approximately 50 tons of sediment a year from the banks, just being washed away through storms and other events that eventually make its way to the river and downstream further.
There's a nearly $400,000 price tag for this project, which will be paid for by a grant from the Board of Soil and Water Resources. The Shingle Creek Watershed Commission will also be working on this project. A fundraiser in Robbinsdale School District Tradition is taking on a different spin this year because of COVID-19. Traditionally, people create bowls that are then sold at a community meal. This year, organizers of Empty Bowls have planned a socially distant event to purchase a bowl on March 1st and then a virtual event to raise money. The money raised from the Empty Bowls fundraiser goes to PRISM and Near Food Shelves, which continue to see increased need.
The need keeps growing. We are seeing people that have never been to a food shelf before. And so it's important to raise the money so that they can keep handing out as fast as they can.
Organizers hope to raise at least $18,000. There's a virtual event scheduled for March 2nd, and we have more information on it on our website. During a time of distance and hybrid learning, enrollment at private schools continues to be high. Reporter Neil Persley shines our school spotlight on St. Alphonsus Catholic School in Brooklyn Center.
St. Alphonsus School in Brooklyn Center has had regular in-person school every day since last September.
I think for the teachers, it was more awesome than for the kids. We missed our kids last spring.
That's why St. Alphonsus staff and faculty worked diligently last summer to make sure they were ready to open in person every day starting the new school year.
The students get to actually physically learn from their teacher. They get to be with their classmates. They get to participate in physical education. They get to be outside at recess. They get to eat lunch together. They get to be social.
When you see the children in St. Alphonsus, you see happy children learning and growing in socialization with their friends. Rebecca Buller teaches middle school math and is the STEAM and technology coordinator.
The kids they just learn so much more compared to an online environment. We had great participation for our online program, but being in person was so important to the students and for us, just the level of engagement.
This year, we get to be in person. We get to see most of our classmates now instead of on a screen, and it makes it a lot easier to do our schoolwork.
With distance learning, you had to wake up, turn on your computer, and sit in front of a screen where you couldn't really ask the teacher in person.
Principal Staples says they've also seen children transfer into St. Alphonsus from public schools that had remained in remote learning mode. From 8th grade to kindergarten, all the children enjoy the benefits from being in school.
And staying on the school beat, we will leave you with a congratulations to a standout student from Armstrong High School. Miriam Vanna is a senior at Armstrong High School, where she is on the track team, president of the National Honor Society, and a former captain of the speech and debate team. For excelling in academics, the arts, and athletics, she has been named a Minnesota State High School League AAA award winner. Vanna is still deciding where she wants to go to college, but she wants to major in accounting and business analytics and then go to law school. Congratulations go out to this standout student.